Every video editor knows who Mr. MagnatesMedia is, the real king of documentary style on YouTube. But what if I told you that his editing isn't as complicated as it might seem? All you need to know is how to create realistic images and give them a cinematic look, how to position them correctly in 3D space, and how to smoothly control the camera. All this you will learn in today's tutorial, during which we'll recreate one of the most viral MagnatesMedia scenes.
ChatGPT has made OpenAI one of the richest and most successful technology companies in the world. But do you know what really happened behind the scenes? This story will shock you. From attempts to get rid of the CEO to denying its own original principles, today I will reveal the crazy truth about OpenAI.
Guys, let me be honest with you. I will never sell assets for my tutorials. They are all available absolutely for free via the Google Drive link in the description of this video. During the tutorial, I will also show you how to generate the images we need using free AI and how I find various overlays. Trust me, it's really important to know if you want to master MagnatesMedia editing style. Now let's move on to After Effects. Create a new comp, 1920 by 1080, 30 frames per second, 25 seconds long. I recommend you to organize all the assets from the Google Drive link into folders at the project panel window for easier work in the future. We'll start our scene from creating an animation of this stylish logo. By the way, I created this using a free Bing image generator service. Here you can see my prompt and all the settings I use. After that, I removed its white background using this free Vecteezy background remover. You can upload any picture here and it will remove the background. Or you can use any other service. Just Google free BG remover and choose whatever you like the most. So drag our ChatGPT logo to the main comp, pre-comp it and name ChatGPT logo. First of all, let's give this logo a cinematic look. Apply light sweep effect, position this center point at the center of our logo, and now we need to create nice glowy lines that will smoothly rotate around the edges of the logo. To do this, change shape to smooth, set width to 143, sweep intensity to 10, edge intensity to 100, edge thickness to 12, and set light color to bright green. We need to animate its direction so the lighting is constantly rotating. For constant rotation, alt-click on direction here and type time *-60. It looks so nice. Go back to main comp and let's create a rotation animation for our logo. At 2 seconds 15 frames, create a rotation keyframe. At 0 frame, change its value to -120. Select keys, press F9, click here and create this speed graph. At this point, we need the rotation to continue, but at a slower pace. We'll do this with the help of null object. Create a new null, name it logo rotate null. Position it at the center of the logo and parent logo to this null. Create a rotation keyframe at 0 frames and at 7 seconds 9 frames change its value to +100. Also apply a deep glow on our logo and decrease its radius plus exposure. Our next step is to create a camera animation, and after that we'll continue working with other assets of this scene. So create a new 28mm one-node camera, make all layers 3D. Also create null object, name it cam control. Make it 3D and parent camera to it. I will disable deep glow for now and enable it when we finish this scene, because it loads PC. Create a cam control position keyframe at 2 seconds 15 frames. Go to 0 frame and change that position far away from camera. Select keys F9 and create the same speed graph as on our logo rotation. I think we can also decrease the scale of our logo. To create a fade-in animation for ChatGPT, simply create an opacity keyframe at 2 seconds 15 frames and decrease it to 0 at 0 frame. Don't forget about F9 and speed graph. Also apply fastbox blur and at 0 frames create a keyframe on blur radius, increase it to 30. At 2 seconds 15 frames decrease to 0. Select keys F9 and create the same speed graph as before. It's time to drag our Stormy background to this comp. By the way, I found this background on YouTube by searching for Stormy Clouds background. You can really find a wide variety of backgrounds and overlays on YouTube. Make this BG layer 3D, and now we need to position it a little further than our logo. This will allow us to create a parallax and depth effect. So select two views here and make sure the second view is set to top. And all you need to do is to move clouds on that position somewhere here. Also increase its scale. But as you see here at the start, our clouds layer is too small because the camera is positioned far away from it. We can increase its scale even more, but in that case the quality of these clouds will become terrible. That's why I recommend to apply motion tile effect, enable blur edges and increase its output width and output high. We definitely want to create a fade-in animation for our BG, so just apply CC image wipe. Create a compilation keyframe at 4 seconds, at 0 second increase it until it disappears. Select keys, press F9, create this speed graph. Also, I recommend to increase image wipe's border softness to around 45%. It looks so cinematic, especially with this lighting at the start. But we're not ready with our clouds yet, because this BG need to be stylized to our green vibe of scene. We'll start our color correction for this layer from applying levels effect. Increase its input black and input white to make it less bright. Then apply a tint effect, change map white color to green and lower amount to tint. Now our clouds fits this nice logo, especially with enabled deep glow. The next step is to create this nice ChatGPT text. Create a new comp and name it ChatGPT text. Select text tool and type ChatGPT. I'm using this SHAD grotesque medium font, but you can use something similar to it. Apply gradient ramp effect, start color should be green. Here you can type 00FF30 to automatically select the color we need, and color should be black. Now position these red dots above the text and below it. Also apply bevel alpha effect. Set edge thickness to 2.8 and light intensity to 1. For the text animation, we'll apply standard After Effects preset called Slow Fade On. Press U on this layer to see two preset keyframes. First should be at 0 frames, second at 3 seconds. Select them, press F9 and create this speed graph. Also apply Fade Out Slow preset. Place its first key at 2 seconds 8 frames and second key at 4 seconds 18 frames. Select keys, press F9. Now go back to main comp, drag ChatGPT text comp here, make it 3D and adjust its scale position. I also recommend you to apply deep glow and drop shadow effects on this layer. And I think we also need to apply vignette effect on our background to make its edges even more dark. Increase its amount to 250. And for now I will disable the deep glow effect on our text and enable it when we'll finish this scene. We're almost done with this scene. all we need to do is create hands animation and drag lighting overlays to this comp. Let's start from the hands. Create a new comp and name it hand. Drag our hand image here, and the first thing we need to do is to right-click on this layer, go to Transform and click Flip Horizontal. To make it black and white, apply Tint Effect. Also add Curves Effect and move this line to the bottom right corner until it becomes really shadowed. Now it looks more cinematic. The next step is to create the green contour light on this hand. Apply light sweep and place it between curves and tint effects. Position the center of light sweep here near the fingers. Change shape to smooth and color to green. Set width to 61, sweep intensity to 5.5, edge intensity to 47, edge thickness to 2.7. It looks so stylish, but we also need to light up our forearm. And if we'll copy this light sweep and change its direction, we'll light the contour of forearm, but in this case our fingers will be lightened too much. So let's delete this second light sweep and create a new adjustment layer, name it Forearm Light Sweep. Copy light sweep from hand pressing Ctrl+C on your keyboard and paste it on adjustment layer pressing Ctrl+V. Click on this icon near center and place the dot here. Change direction of light sweep. Also change width to 56 and edge thickness to 11.8. After that, just select Pen tool and mask this adjustment layer here. Don't forget to press M on your keyboard and invert this mask. Then press F on your keyboard and feather it. All that's left is to animate the fingers. Select our hand layer and click on the puppet tool here. Make sure you are at 0 frame on timeline. Place the yellow dots on this arm at the joints. Position them as I have done. Now press U on your keyboard and you will see a keyframes at 0 frame. It's our yellow dots keyframes. Try to position the bottom fingers slightly down by moving this yellow dot. Go to 1 second 4 frames and move it up a little bit. Select keys, press F9. As you see, animation is already created. Move next finger's keyframe to 4 frames and again pull it slightly down. At 1 second 8 frames, pull up the yellow dot. Select keys, press F9. The next finger's first keyframe should be at 8 frames. Pull yellow dot slightly down. At 1 second 12 frames, pull up it. Select keys, press F9. And the top finger's first keyframe should be at 12 frames. Pull the yellow dot down. At 1:16, pull it up. Select keys, press F9. To make this animation constant and loop it, select the first pair of keys of bottom fingers, Alt-click on stopwatch and type the next expression. Loop out, brackets, quotation marks, ping pong. Copy this expression and paste it to all other fingers pairs of keys by Alt-clicking on them. Now go back to the main comp, drag our hand comp here, place this layer and position, rotate and scale it so that you have something similar to what I did. Let's create an animation of this hand. First of all, select our hand comp, click on the anchor point icon and place this anchor dot here at the beginning of our forearm. Go to 4 seconds 7 frames and create Z rotation plus position keyframes on our hand comp. At 1 second 6 frames, rotate and position it so the hand isn't visible in the scene. Select keys, press F9 and create this speed graph. Don't forget to cut this layer by pressing Alt plus left brackets on your keyboard here at the moment when it's not visible in the scene. And we also need another hand that will be positioned here. Simply duplicate this hand comp, delete its keys, Right-click on it, transform, flip horizontal. Right-click one more time, transform, flip vertical. Change Z rotation plus position, so after all it should be somewhere here. Create position plus Z rotation keyframes at 4 second 7 frame. Go to 1 second 6 frames and change the keyframe values so this hand isn't visible in our scene. Select keys, press F9 and create this speed graph. All that's left is to deal with lighting overlays. By the way, I found them on YouTube. You can search for lighting overlay or lighting green screen and you will find a lot of cool assets. Okay, so drag our arc slow asset to main comp, make it 3D, apply tint effect on it. Change map white to green color, make it a little dark, and change amount to tint to 76%. Now play with the position plus rotation of this layer and place it somewhere here. This layer should start at 2 seconds 8 frames. Now drag Sparks asset, make it 3D, copy tint effect from arc slow and paste it to this layer. Place it at the moment when the arc slow hits our logo. Duplicate arc slow, flip it vertically, move it to 3 seconds 25 frames and place it here. Also duplicate Spark one more time and place it at exact moment when this second arc hits our logo. Finally, drag lightning slow motion asset, make it 3D and copy the tint effect from the slow arc, paste it to this lightning. This layer should start at 3 seconds 10 frames. I recommend to lower its opacity to 65% and move closer to the clouds on that position. Don't forget to increase its scale after that. All that's left is to create an animation for the next scene. Duplicate cam control null, delete its keys, parent Ctrl 1 to Ctrl 2. Create Ctrl 2 position keyframe at 0 frame. At 7 seconds 19 frames, move closer to our logo. Go to 6 seconds 19 frames and create a Z rotation plus position keyframe on first cam control. At 10 seconds 5 frames, move through the center of logo and change rotation to -35. Select keys, press F9, create this speed graph. Also at 6:19 create Z rotation keyframe on our logo comp. At 10 seconds 5 frames, move it to 285. Select keys F9 and create this speed graph. And I recommend to move logo rotate null last keyframe to 9 seconds at least. Finally, let's create an opacity keyframe on our clouds background at 8 seconds 11 frames and decrease it to 0 at 9 seconds. Enable deep glow on our ChatGPT text, on logo, and also apply deep glow effect on hands. I think we can move the second blur keyframe of our logo closer to the first one. And also let's lower the opacity of our logo at the end, because deep glow makes a lot of light. Now we can pre-compose everything and name it Scene 1. Then create a new comp and name it Scene 2. We'll start this scene from positioning our characters. Create a new comp and name it Altman Musk. Drag Sam Altman and Elon Musk characters here. Apply a tint on one of the layer. Also apply curse effect and pull the line closer to the bottom right corner. Copy these effects and paste to other character. Now we need to create contour green light as with our hands at scene 1. So apply light sweep on Sam Altman and place this effect between tint and curse. Position its center near Sam Altman's arm. Change light direction and change shape to smooth. Set width to 47, sweep intensity to 14, edge intensity to 47, edge thickness to 6.3, and change light color to green. Copy this effect, paste to Elon Musk. Place it between curves and tint, after that adjust it a little bit. We need to change direction and some values so it looks nice. Now let's create a position plus rotation animation for these characters. But first move their anchor points to the bottom. After that go to 1 second, 20 frames and create a position plus rotation keyframes. At 0 frames, change keyframe values so the characters are not visible in this comp. Select keys, press F9 and create this speed graph. Now come back to Scene 2 and drag this Altman mask comp here. Create a one-node 28mm camera, make this layer 3D. Also add 3D null and name it cam control. Parent camera to it. At 1 second 20 frames create a position keyframe. At 0 frames move further away. Select keys, press F9 and create this speed graph with a peak on the left. Also adjust a scale of characters comp if you need to remove cutting edges. But we need the camera to constantly move after that animation, so duplicate camera null, delete its keys, parent alt null to this one. At 0 frame, create a position keyframe. At 5 seconds 11th frame, position it closer to the characters. All that's left is to go to our main comp and drag Scene 2 here. Place it under Scene 1 and it should start at 8 seconds 18 frames. Our seamless transition to Scene 2 looks so nice. We still have 2 characters left, but everything will be much easier with them. Just open Project Panel window and duplicate our Altman mask comp, pressing Ctrl D on your keyboard. Rename it to Brockman Suitskever. Go to this new comp, find Brockman picture in Scene 2 assets. Select Altman in our comp and hold Alt on your keyboard. Do not release Alt button and start dragging Brockman to Sam Altman layer. Press the mouse button and now we have Brockman instead of Altman in our comp. But of course we need to decrease its scale and adjust light sweep, decreasing its direction and some values. Also position it closer to the center. Then select Elon Musk, hold Alt and drag Suitskever to Elon layer. Increase its scale and flip horizontally. Also play with light sweep, direction and values. Come back to Scene 2, drag Brockman and Suitskever comp here, make it 3D and place on Z position to around 1000. Increase its scale. This comp should start at 3 frames. All that's left is to work with a thunder background and add some lightnings. Drag Thunderclouds asset to this comp, make it 3D, and position it far away from all the layers. Apply a tint effect and change map white color to green. This layer has short duration, so we need to duplicate it and place here near the end of first thunder. Position it closer to right corner or where you want. Duplicate it one more time, place it here and change its position. Also, I think it's better to give some motion to our characters. So Alt-click on Altman mask comp position and type wiggle 1,8. This expression will give them constant movement. Alt-click on Brockman Suitskever comp and type wiggle 1,20. Drag our slow motion lightning, change its blending mode to screen, make it 3D, position near thunderclouds. The moment when lightning hit should be at 1 second, 20 frames. All that's left is to create a final camera movement to our next scene. At 1:28 create a position keyframe on first cam control. At 4 seconds 19 frames move closer to the thunder. Select keys, press F9, create this speed graph. Go to the main comp. By the way, cut the scene 1 here at 10 seconds. We don't need it anymore. Then create a new comp and name it scene 3. Sorry, I almost forgot that we need to apply deep glow on our character's comp. And on Altman mask comp you can also apply drop shadow. Drag Altman portrait to our scene 3 comp, apply tint effect and add curves to make it darker. Also, create a new black solid and name it BG. Apply gradient ramp effect. Select the radial ramp here, move this red dot to the center. Start color should be green, end color should be black. Move the second red dot down a little bit and increase blend with the original to around 60-70%. Also increase ramp scatter to 55 to avoid annoying gradient lines. And now it's time to create this nice digital transition. So actually we need to rename this scene 3 comp to scene 3 transition. After that, pre-comp these two layers and name it scene 3. Create a new white solid, select ellipse tool, and while holding Ctrl plus Shift on a keyboard, draw this circle mask. Open mask 1 here, create a mask expansion keyframe at 0 second and lower its value until white circle disappears. At 4 seconds, expand it till it covers all the screen. Select keys, press F9, create this speed graph. Press F on your keyboard and change the mask feather to 80. Next, apply roughen edges. We can keep it at default. Add mosaic effect and set horizontal blocks to 50 and vertical to 25. Now we can pre-comp this white solid and name it reveal. Click on toggle switch modes here and near scene 3 select reveal. As you see, it reveals our scene 3. Pre-comp these two layers and name it base. Duplicate it and call scan. Change the blending mode of scan layer to add. Move our base to 3rd frame, so it should start here. Apply a different matte effect on scan layer. Difference layer should be base. Decrease matching tolerance to 0. Next, apply CC glass. At the surface, bump matte should be scan. Property alpha. Change softness to 1. High to -50. Displacement to 200. After that, apply tritone effect and choose green midtones here. Last but not least, deep glow. In my case, it's 500 radius and 0.5 exposure. Finally, go to the main comp and drag scene 3 transition here. It should start at 11 seconds, 10 frames. At scene 3 transition, we also need to keyframe scan comp opacity. First keyframe should be at 1 second, 1 frame. At 1 second, 11 frames, decrease it to 0. We're doing this to avoid different visual artifacts that scan layer can cause in the future. Then go to scene 3 and let's continue our work. Now we need to create a face shatter effect. Let's pre-comp the portrait layer. Now duplicate it and make sure that the new layer starts at 1 second, 18 frames. Apply shatter effect on it and here near view select rendered. The effect is ready, but of course we need to adjust some settings to make it look much better. We can also cut the first comp here at the shatter moment. Okay, so open the shape menu and instead of bricks select squares and triangles. Set repetition to 5, extrusion depth to around 0.3. Open force 1, set strength to 2. And change the radius so it shatters only his face, not the body. Here you can also adjust its position as you want so everything looks fine. Open physics, change gravity to 0 and viscosity to 0.4. And now we have something like that. But you can also make some adjustments, especially in radius and position to make it look better. I made some adjustment and that's what I have for now. You can also change the origin position here if you have some strange squares and triangles artifacts. Now drag our charge explosion asset. It should start at 1 second, 16 frames. Scale it a little bit and position at the center of his head. By the way, if you type explosion green screen on YouTube, you can find a lot of similar cool assets. Also drag smoke impact here, keylight it, decrease scale a little bit. It should start at 1 second, 19 frames. Duplicate it and place duplicated smoke above all the layers. To add some sauce, we definitely need to create a shake impact effect at the moment of explosion. Create a new adjustment layer and name it shake. Apply standard After Effects wiggle position preset. Move the timeline to 1 second, 20 frames, change wiggle speed to 10, wiggle amount to 0, and create a keyframe on wiggle amount. Press U on your keyboard to see this keyframe. Next, move on our timeline 5 frames left to 1:15 and create a new keyframe by clicking here. Go back to 120 keyframe and increase the wiggle amount value to 130. Go to 2 seconds and set it back to 0. Here at Transform, uncheck the Use Composition Shutter Angle and set shutter angle to 200. Change sampling to bicubic. To remove these black edges, I recommend just applying a motion tile effect on the BG layer. Enable mirror edges and increase output width plus output high to 150. Copy this effect and paste it to our shattered Sam Altman comp. Also add motion tile to our first portrait comp because shake starts here. We can cut this shake adjustment layer only at the moments of shake effect. We need to move forward, so create a new 28mm one-node camera, make all layers 3D except shake adjustment and BG. Add a new 3D null object and parent camera to it. Go to 1 second, 19 frames and create a position plus Z rotation keyframe on cam control null. At 4 seconds 7 frames, change Z rotation to 50 and move on Z position through these shattered bricks. Select keys, press F9 and create this speed graph. Now it's time to work with flying paper documents. Create a new comp and name it paper doc. Drag our paper texture and mask it using a rectangle tool to create a sheet. Apply a tint effect on it and make black and white. Type non-profit organization. Decrease its opacity a little bit. And create a rectangle around this text, no fill and black stroke. Don't forget to increase its opacity too, so it looks like this text was printed. Pre-comp all these layers and name this comp as flying paper. It's time for flying animation. Apply page turn effect on flying paper pre-comp. Make sure here near controls, bottom right corner is selected. Now slightly drag this dot to the top right corner and you will see the reverse side of our paper. Let's work with it a little bit. Near the back page, select None, increase back opacity to 100% and change the paper color to dark gray. To create a constant movement of this part, as if it were flying in the wind, alt-click on fold position and type wiggle 2,40. And move this point so that you slightly lift the entire bottom part of the paper. Duplicate this page turn effect and change controls to top left corner. After that, move this point to slightly lower the entire top part of the paper. It looks super realistic. Now pre-comp this flying paper and name it paper shutter. We need to shutter on the top part of our paper, so let's duplicate paper shutter layer and create a mask on a duplicated layer using a pen tool. Now press M on your keyboard and copy this mask pressing Ctrl+C. Select our original paper shutter layer and press Ctrl V to paste this mask. Press M and click on Invert. Now our paper is divided into two parts. We'll shutter the top one. And here I see some black lines from our first mask. To remove them, just open mask settings on the top layer and increase the mask expansion a little bit. Apply CC Pixel Poly effect on the top paper shutter layer. Set force to 90, gravity to 0, move force center somewhere here, direction randomness 30, grid spacing 52. And set start time to 2 seconds, because right now we don't know when it should explode. After placing this paper to comp, we'll correct this time. Go back to our Scene 3 comp, drag paper dock comp here. Make it 3D, click on two views and move it closer to null object. Decrease its scale a little bit and change rotation to 50. This layer should start at 2 seconds 20 frames. Go to 4 seconds 7 frames and create position plus Z rotation keyframes on it. At 220 change rotation to -40 and move it somewhere here to the bottom so it's not visible in the scene for now. Select keys, press F9 and create this speed graph. Also, let's create a mask around this layer so our shuttered triangles are not cutting at the edges of this comp. Don't forget to feather this mask. Duplicate this comp, delete its keys, move it closer to the camera. Also change its rotation to around +36. This layer should start at 2 seconds 26 frames. At 4 seconds 13 frames, create a position plus Z rotation keyframes. Go to 226 and change rotation to around -25 and lower its position. Select keys, press F9, create this speed graph. Duplicate the first paper dock one more time, delete its keys, move it on Z position furthest away and change its Z rotation to around 62. It should start at 226. Go to 4 seconds 13 frames and create position plus Z rotation keyframes. At 226, change rotation to -25 and move it to the bottom of the scene so it's not visible. Select keys, press F9, create a speed graph. Apply Fastbox blur effect to the closest paper to the camera and increase the blur radius to 9. Copy this effect and paste it to the farthest comp. Increase its radius to 20. Now go inside our original paper dock that's positioned here at the center and change pixel poly start time to 1.3. Don't forget to duplicate the shake adjustment layer and move it to 3 seconds 28 frames. Also go to the end of our cam control animation and duplicate it. Delete its keys and parent first cam control to this one. Create a position keyframe on second cam control at 2 seconds 26 frames. Go to 6 seconds 11 frames and move closer to our centered paper. All that's left is to add deep glow on Sam Altman first comp and shuttered comp, and also on paper docks. Go to the main comp and I recommend you to create a scale keyframe on our Scene 3 transition at 11 seconds 29 frames and increase it to 110% at 13 seconds 10 frames. At 14 seconds 13 frames, create another scale keyframe by clicking here and decrease it back to 100% at 14:28. We are doing this to create constant camera movement from Scene 2 to Scene 3. Let's quickly create the last scene. It's the easiest one. And after that, we'll move on to our color correction. Cut the Scene 2 comp here and create a new comp, name it Scene 4. First of all, go to Scene 1, open ChatGPT logo comp and copy ChatGPT layer by pressing Ctrl+C. Come back to Scene 4 and paste this layer here by pressing Ctrl+V. Create a new black solid and name it background. After that, create a new 28mm one-node camera, make OpenAI logo 3D, add null object, make it 3D, name it cam control, parent camera to it. Go to 3 seconds 3 frames and move it a little further away from the logo. At 0 frames, go through the center of the logo. Select keys, press F9 and create this speed graph. For the logo rotation, create a new null object, name it logo rotation, make it 3D and parent logo to it. Go to 2 seconds 7 frames and create a Z rotation keyframe on logo null. At 0 frames, change it to -180. Select keys, press F9, create this speed graph. Also at 0 frame, create a Z rotation keyframe on the logo itself. Go to 8 seconds 10 frames and change it to 90. So now we created constant logo rotation. The next step is to duplicate our camera null, delete its keys, parent cam control 1 to cam control 2. Create a position keyframe on second cam control at 0 frames. Go to 8 seconds 10 frames and move further away from the logo. It's time for the text. Create a new comp and name it The Crazy Truth. Type The Crazy Truth about OpenAI. Apply gradient ramp effect, start color green and color black. Apply bevel alpha. Edge thickness 2.8, light intensity 1. Add deep glow and drop shadow. Apply slow fade on preset on text layer. Move the first keyframe to 18 frames, the second to 2 seconds 19 frames. Go back to Scene 4 comp, drag text comp here, make it 3D, move closer to the camera on Z position and adjust its scale. Now let's create a fade up animation of the logo. First of all, apply a deep glow, then add a vignette effect. Create an amount keyframe at 1 second 2 frames, decrease it to 0. At 3 seconds 10 frames, increase it to 500. Select keys, press F9. Add curves effect. Click on curve stopwatch here at 1 second 2 frames. At 3 seconds 10 frames, move this line to the bottom right corner a little bit. And here at the start, let's animate deep glow exposure. Last thing we need to do is to drag this technology overlay that I found on YouTube by searching technology overlay. Make it 3D, adjust the scale. Decrease the opacity of this overlay to 50% and apply a tint effect. Change map white to green. Select the ellipse tool and create a similar mask in the center. Invert it and feather a lot. Go to main comp, drag scene 4 here. It should start at 17 seconds 4 frames. Create an opacity keyframe at 17 seconds 4 frames and decrease it to 0. Go to 17 seconds 19 frames and increase it back to 100. We're ready for color correction. First of all, I want to go to scene 2 inside Altman Mask Comp. I will create a new adjustment layer and name it Halftone. Apply a BCC halftone effect on our adjustment. It's not a standard After Effects plugin, but you can easily find it by yourself in the internet. Here, change color scheme to RGB, decrease HT scale to 3, and decrease the opacity of adjustment layer to 60%. Now copy this adjustment layer and go to scene 3. Paste it above the BG layer and lower opacity to 35%. Go back to main comp, create a new adjustment layer, name it vignette and apply vignette effect on it. Increase its amount to 120. On a new adjustment layer, apply noise effect and increase it to 7. The next adjustment layer is curves. Simply create this as graph. On the final adjustment layer, add Lumetri color and here at Creative select a cell matrix green look. Decrease its intensity to 50. Now enable motion blur on all the layers and let's see our final result. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, guys. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, it's my biggest support from you. Thank you and see you in the next video.